Rise and shine like the rainbow with the Eagles morning rise now. And yes, it is that time of the day for us to go conversational, talk politics and current affairs. And need I remind us that today is World Day of Social Justice, right? And it's got the theme renewed commitment to social development and social justice. Renewed commitment to social development as well as social justice. All right. Now, that being said, might I also put out the fact that the FCT Council, Area Council elections is going to be tomorrow, and there is a work-free announcement by the number one citizen of the Federal Republic of the Federal Capital Territory. Now, I'm talking about the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, right? That look, you're staying back at home because we don't want to hear no stories. We don't want to hear, oh, I have to go to work, that's why I wasn't able to vote and all of that. So nobody has an excuse. In the coming days or years, after elected officials have gone into legitimate offices, and that will indeed suffice. But then ADC is testing the might as Wike is rallying PDP for APC victory. That's what we found on the front page of Nigerian newspapers today, especially with the Daily Post newspapers got that one. But I should also put it out there, the INEC shouldn't conduct elections during Ramadan period. These are not my words. Sharia court Judge Bashir is saying that one. Look, conducting elections in a time like this is pretty wrong. And then Nigeria has also been elected UN Peacekeeping Committee chair. All right, so as these news are breaking, we should break them to you so you're aware. Nigeria elected UN Peacekeeping Committee chair. So Nigeria has been elected to chair the United Nations Special Committee on Peacekeeping Operations, known to be the UN's most strategic committee, for a record 54th time. 54th time. All right, well, you know that now, and this is at least some information that I can garner for you just right at this point in time. Now, the EFCC's official page on X, I'm talking formerly Twitter now, has also put it out there that look, the fight against corruption is one that needs collaboration, or corroboration as well. And they have made it known that, look, we are signing a memorandum of understanding between the EFCC and Budget Foundation and the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Mr. Ola Olukoyede. All right, Olukoyede. Oh, I got it wrong the last time. Not Oluyede. His names can be very similar. All right, Olukoyede actually has reiterated the critical need for proactive prevention in the fight against corruption. Now, he stressed that anti-corruption efforts must go beyond investigation and prosecution, and it must or should include early risk detection as well as institutional safeguards. Not my words, his words. Now, he repeatedly linked Nigeria's high poverty rate and chronic infrastructure gaps to large-scale corruption, arguing that stolen public funds drain money that would otherwise build roads, build schools, build hospitals, and power plants. So, let us get back to the famous quotes by Mark Twain. Politics is the only profession where you can lie, you can cheat, you can steal, and still be respected. Haven't we seen it countless times in this country already? Oh yeah, we have. Small scale, large scale, medium scale. I mean, it's there. And that's why it does seem as though politics is becoming a popular trade or profession more than any other profession. Because you do all of these things that are morally wrong, and still you are hailed. Did we not see when our El-Rufai was being, when he was accosted and from his home to, I think at first the EFCC office for questioning, how follow us, we're running after the prayers they were making for him just before. Come on. Although alleged 400 and something million, is it billion or billion now? These things can be so confusing sometimes. That has been alleged on him during his tenure as Kaduna State Governor. But EFCC accuses him. He came out, is still respected. ICPC has picked him now. He spent 2 days. Assuredly, I tell you, he will come out and he'll still be respected. And this is what is fueling this conversation this morning. Because the EFCC Executive Chairman, Ola Olukoyede, is saying that Nigeria's high poverty rates, brainwashing rates, because poverty is a brainwash, it's a brainwash. As a group of people brainwash a larger populace into believing an ideology that is not even in existence, that they don't even follow. So they brainwash this large population, telling them that what you deserve will come to you in bits and pieces. You have to struggle, you have to beg, you have to perform eye service, you have to dip your hand into places that you're not supposed to. So the moral decadence becomes weakened and it's weaponized against a larger populace by a selected, elected, appointed few. If you caught it, you caught it. If you got it, you got it. So he goes on. These are words from Ola Olukoyede now. All right, now he goes on to saying that, look, stolen funds are draining, or stolen funds drainage is becoming alarming, and these monies would have been used into productive cause, build schools, fix roads, hospitals, power plants. He went on to say that financial crimes and corruption are the main obstacles to development, and calls for stronger collaboration among anti-corruption bodies to turn paper reforms into real enforcement. So our problem, from what I am able to deduce from what he says, is not that we don't have laws. Oh, we have laws. It's not like the laws are not potent. They are potent, but they are just paper reforms. They are just in paper. Because in the real time, when it comes to enforcement, is zilch, is zero. It's unavailable. Enforcement is weakened. Institutions are weakened. Structures are blown over. Systems are debased. So is the EFCC in a formal partnership with other agencies? Yes. The EFCC has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission and the Code of Conduct Bureau to share intelligence, coordinate investigations, avoid duplicate work. I mean, recent high-level meetings between the EFCC and ICPC leadership reaffirms this cooperation. And there is even a joint there's a joint training workshop on Commonwealth Africa Anti-Corruption Research Project. And this, of course, should further cement that partnership. But why is this happening now? Many Nigerians feel the link between corruption and underdevelopment has been obvious for years. So why is it coming now? So that public statement by the EFCC boss, isn't it long overdue? But then again, better late than never, they say. The timing reflects a new political or a renewed political push, an increased pressure from civil society and international partners to concrete action. Rather than a new discovery of the problem. No, we're not discovering it. You're not just rediscovering the problem. No, it's been there. Just amazed that you're only doing that now. You're only seeing it now as an issue. So it's a buzzing conversation right now. It touches on every Nigerian's daily life. From the roads we travel on to the price of food at the market, it touches on you one way or the other, whether you like it or not. I'll paint you a picture. Imagine a family somewhere, let's say somewhere in Lagos, trying to get their children to school. So they need good roads, reliable electricity. They need affordable transport. Now, when money that should fix those roads or build schools gets stolen, the family ends up stuck in traffic. You know the Lagos traffic now. And they pay higher transport fares. And their kids study in overcrowded classrooms. That's the real world impact of corruption. And I believe that's what the EFCC chairman Ola Olukoyede is pointing out now. Recall that in February 2026, Ola Olukoyede, the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, spoke at a public event in Abuja. And he made this call himself. Historically, where have we been historically? Historically, our anti-corruption fight has been a roller coaster. Let me use that word. Roller coaster. Recall that in 2003, the EFCC was established under the then President Olusegun Obasanjo. And the establishment was to tackle money laundering and financial crimes. Over the years, several high-profile cases like the 2015 Dasuki Gate arms deal and scandal showed to us how deep-rooted corruption can be. Yet, despite numerous arrests and prosecutions, the country is still ranking low on transparency indices. I gave you, is it sometime this week or last week? The Transparency International. What was our rank? We are at a stagnancy. We are in a state of redundancy when it comes to corruption. Our ranking is so high. And it's showing a pattern. Strong laws and agencies exist, but collaboration and political will often lag behind. Let me give you a football pitch example. So, when you think of a football team, what do you think about? You think about the players, the coach, the referees, and all of that, yeah? So, relating it to this, you have talented players. They are called the EFCC, the ICPC, the CCB, the host of others. But if they don't pass the ball and play as a unit, they'll lose the match. Right? There is no one star player. Everybody should work as a team. So how has corruption historically contributed to Nigeria's infrastructure deficit? What's specific steps can the EFCC and the Code of Conduct Bureau take to improve their collaboration? And why haven't they done that already? Why is it that Nigerians would have already known what our problem is, and yet these agencies and bosses at the top feign knowledge, act as though they don't know, and so they can boldly come on national television and embarrass themselves? I was not aware, they'd say. I wasn't there. The other one will tell you, you were there. It begins to look like children who are bickering over a pencil that is broken. So they're trying to investigate to find out amongst themselves who was it responsible for that broken pencil. Who was there? Who was not there? In what ways does corruption-driven poverty affect everyday Nigeria and Nigerians? Because we're so interested in the urban centers that we even forget the corruption is destroying even in the rural areas. How can citizens indeed hold leaders accountable in a country that shows less concern about the survival of its citizenry, but rather enthrone, empower, make peoples in position more equal than others? If I'm to have an audience with the rep member representing my community now, can I? Will I? Oh, I've not even gone through the protocols and how many secretaries and personal assistants that we have. How do you even get close? But he's supposed to be my servant, right? Oh yeah, I'm using that word, servant master, because that's what they tell you when they come for campaign. I'm your servant. I'll serve you. Just yesterday, was it? Turkenby gave us a real-time experience where he said he saw the former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, eating corn in the streets. Election is closed now. You'll see all manner of things. They'll fall off from the high places now. They remember that they have you. So they come to you now and they start living your everyday life only for 5 minutes. But you've experienced it for years. And then when you put them back there, oh, they become gods, demigods, untouchable. So the EFCC chair is saying, no, this time we are forming a bright collaboration. Is this collaboration, I want to ask you, is this collaboration going to go any step further in enhancing, improving anti-corruption fight? Is it coming at the right time? Is this not something that we expected a long time ago? Should it even make news that you're only having collaboration now? Because there are critical concerns. There are salient questions that family members, eagles in their own rights, are asking. Let's take the economy, for example. Why does corruption keep draining Nigeria's budget, leaving little for roads, hospitals, and schools? Why? Nigerians are asking. How can we survive? How can we ensure that every naira allocated to infrastructure actually reaches the projects? Because the implication is, if funds continue to vanish, economic growth stalls and unemployment rises. Citizens expect transparency, budgeting, and real-time tracking of projects. How much empowerment have we had? What are the structures and the infrastructures that's been put in place to support this drive, this citizenship drive, or the citizens' will? Because we have political will and we have the citizen will. I'll just open the phone lines because I want us to be a conversation between you and I. Collaboration is coming in a time like this. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it coming at a right time or not? Should we dwell on whether it's the right time or not, or just say, hey, better late than never? What is the framework or the guidelines or the principles that are outlaid to supervise, to ensuring that this collaboration will indeed yield fruits? Hello. Good morning. Good morning to you. Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, please. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Chimeze calling from Asoko.
All right, Chimeze, welcome aboard. Talk to us.
Yeah, God will continue to protect you.
Appreciate that.
And your patience. You
Right.
see, when I hear some topics or disclosure or address after conference or conferences or seminars, it makes me to laugh. The EFCC chairman is talking about collaboration. Where is Code of Conduct Barrier? Where is ICBC? Okay? In banks today, if you are not rooted and you lodge in anything above 10 million naira, you are reported by the bank. But through these banks, most of these banks, not some, a corrupt man, a fraudulent man, let's not use the word corruption, can go in there and lodge more than 80 billion naira. Nothing happening. Example is that of Yahaya Bello, the former Accountant General of the Federation, the former MPH here, the former Minister of Finance under Buhari. Where was this money lodged? Let us not go far. The EFCC, I have a question for you. The court instructed you people to start the prosecution of, the trial of Senator Ojo Okano, over 7.2 billion naira, our money. He is my senator. Till tomorrow. EFCC, will you say you have not had that? What happened to Ibrahim Magu? What happened to Yahaya Bello? What happened to the case of His Excellency Hope Uzodinma? Are we trying to be real in this country? Is it a selective prosecution or touch this and touch that? If you really want to fight corruption, like you rightly said, my brother, corruption has eaten deep into the society. I reported about the electricity incident and AEDC residents in Durumi too. 2 good months, nothing happened. Over 5 radio platforms, they were asked to pay 45,000 naira each room so that their transformer will be repaired. People that are paying their electricity bill, does this mean that you don't have a minister that's in charge? Even if the minister is too busy, does it mean that the state services didn't hear this complaint? If you don't start from the minor, you don't end up in the major. Then Sidori was acquitted of 13 count charges in Nigeria over fraud. Abroad, he was whisked away from United Arab Emirates to London. Under 2 hours, he confessed. Under 2 hours, he was sentenced accordingly. And again, is that there is a conflicting legal terms here.
Right.
What are the nexus between fraud and corruption? You arrest somebody for corruption, you charge that person for fraud. Or you arrest somebody for fraud and you charge for corruption. It is not gone anywhere because you are giving them loopholes to seek enforcement of fundamental human rights, which is constitutional anyway. If you really want to fight corruption, let him start from the ones I have just cited out. Many others are there.
Right.
Let us know they are serious, not seminar talks. Thank you very much.
Right. Go beyond the seminar talks. Chimeze is noting right there. And yes, this indeed can be used against the EFCC chair himself. He admitted to the fact that it's paperwork, paper reform. That's where we are at. That is high time we began to take this into implementation and execution. So, Ola Olukoyede, you have a task on your shoulders. One of such would be, why not revisit some of these cases? Chimeze had rightly mentioned some of them. I mean, there are cases that are just there, lying in waste. And these people are still in these people are still in government. And the government will say we are not aware. I will not call President Bola Ahmed Tinubu into this. Nah, I will not call the vice president into this. Does it really concern these ones? No, it may bother on them in a way, but it bothers more on the institutions of government that has been put in place to ensure that people like this aforementioned, they are tried, and if they are clean, they are certain clean. So that's where the transparency and accountability comes in. And when we now begin to seemingly address or arrest or interrogate certain personalities, what we are beginning to do is give room to the sheer thoughts that it might just be a selective probe into certain individuals for political gains or for whatever. It begins to give that insinuation that it might just be a matter of the ruling party or Mr. President using the instruments of government to go after certain individuals who probably do not align or share same ideology with him or them. So to forestall all of these, why not do the right thing? How long does it have to take for us to go through a court case and pass judgment as and when due? How long does it have to take? I don't know. I sit to be corrected. I don't know in anywhere else in the world where a case is dragged like this. They drag a case, you adjourn. Another time the judge will tell you, there are different languages to it, but they just keep adjourning. Pending cases in court, there is no judgment. Somebody fought back. A terrorist who was invading his farm managed to unalive that terrorist, and he's sentenced to death. You should have run away when you found the space, when you discovered that, you were free off the terrorist. Run, just run. What if I'm running and the terrorist gets to me and still kills me? What if, as I'm running, uneventfully, I hit my leg on a rock? In the process of falling to the ground, there is already a stone waiting for me by my village people on my head. and I'm gone? What if as I'm running, or even running to the den of the terrorist? So now I fight back, and for some reason I'm able to succeed in that fight, unalive the person who's trying to unalive me. First of all, terrorizing my life and terrorizing my livelihood. I'm sentenced to death by the court of law. So how do we trust a system to indeed give us hope? A system that in itself is coarse. A system that in itself will not and cannot render the justice, equity, tranquility, fairness, listening ear to my plight. Well, I got bills to pay though. Let's just go pay these bills. We will be right back.
FCT Youth, this is your call to duty. On Saturday, the 21st of February, the area council elections will take place across the FCT. This election is about your future, not violence, not thuggery. Say no to vote buying. Say no to intimidation. Your vote is your power. Your vote is your voice. Come out calmly. Stand in line peacefully. Vote without fear. Exercising your vote is your civic right. Use it responsibly. Choose peace. Choose progress. Choose the future you deserve. This message is brought to you by the National Youth Council of Nigeria, FCT chapter.
Hey, how is business going?
Much better now. Actually, I'm working with Eagles FM's business development team.
Really? What are they doing for you?
They're helping me promote my brand, radio, campaign planning, even ideas I hadn't thought of.
Nice. But isn't it expensive?
Not at all. They work with your budget. They just want to help your business grow.
And it's working for you?
Definitely. I've already started getting more calls. People are talking about the brand now. It's making a difference.
That sounds good. I've been looking for something like this.
Then don't wait. Call Isaac on 081 5791 7278. 081 5791 7278. Or Solomon on 080 5919 8658. 080 59198658.
I'll do that today. I like that they actually help you plan, not just sell airtime.
Exactly. They listen, they guide you, and they care about results.
Alright, thanks for the info. I'm calling them after this.
Eagles FM 102.3. Let's grow your business.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah. That woman own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join Media Coalition and Awareness to hold trafficking, MICAT, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAT and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, joining us as a guest to add his voice in this all-important conversation would be Mr. Ankeli Emmanuel. Now, he's a Northwest Regional Editor of National Accord newspaper and Global Patriot News in the USA. Hello, good morning to you and welcome to the Eagles Morning Rises Prog Show.
Good morning for having me once again.
Right, it does feel good. Well, Nigerians are already talking about this collaboration, this MOU between the EFCC and the CCB, Code of Conduct Bureau, and quite a number of questions still align. And one of such would be, why now? Why is this even happening now? I mean, Nigerians expected that before now we should have had collaboration with these sister agencies. There should be an alignment between them such that whenever they spoke in one voice. But Olao Lukoyede, who happens to be the executive chairman of the EFCC, is faulting lines and saying that, look, as it stands right now, that what has caused, poverty the most has been the corruption. I mean, do you, Mr. Ankeli, are you not aware that corruption is what has been fueling what we are going through in this country for donkey years now? Are you not aware? Should this be news to Nigerians?
All right, thank you so very much. Corruption as a word has so many interpretations.
Okay, break it down.
Yes. There is moral corruption. There is financial corruption. And you can name so many of them. You understand? Now, in the case which the EFCC boss is referring to financial corruption. Now, and because of that, I wouldn't want to go into so many segments or so many types of corruption. So let me dwell on the one he specifically dwelled on.
Okay.
Which he says was the reason for the poverty in Nigeria. Now, looking at financial corruption, it's so amazing and so heartbreaking that Nigeria, as at last year, 2025, is rated 35th most corrupt country globally. That is 142 out of 182 countries with corruption highest rating globally.
Transparency in there, yeah.
According to Transparency International.
Yeah.
Now, the funniest aspect is this. Nigeria is such a paradox. A country that is so blessed, but so unfortunate that is so poor. So poor in the sense that as at last year, about 139 million Nigerians are living in poverty, which goes to say roughly about 60% of Nigerians. And do you know the irony? The irony is this: 65% of these poor people in Nigeria are living in the north.
65%.
65% of the poorest people in Nigeria are living in the north, and only just about 35% are in the south. And now, to further break it down, painfully, I will go to the root of why this poverty is increasing. Now, to further break it down, painfully, in the rural area, there are about 75% of the poorest people in Nigeria lives in the rural area. And now, why are they poor in the rural area? Poverty in the rural area will continue to increase so long as insecurity continue to go unabated. So now our poverty rating, not just corruption, but like I said earlier, corruption has so many segments. There is security corruption, economic corruption. So now the security corruption is affecting our main corruption, is affecting our main poverty rating. Because if not for security corruption, come to think about it, how many are these people that are disturbing this country that the country cannot cannot find a solution to it for 10, 12, 13, 14 years. And even more. You understand? So that is security corruption.
Okay.
But that aside, our target is still on the financial corruption.
Right.
Now, funny enough, do you know that in this same Nigeria now, it is believed that the youths are of the highest population. But do you believe that the same youth now have about 67.28 million young Nigerians are in extreme poverty?
67 point what?
0.28 million young Nigerians are extremely poor.
Wow.
And let me further break it down here, and you will be so surprised that as it is now in this present Nigeria, just only about 7,200 Nigerians have high net worth. That is to say, only about 5% of Nigerians, only about 7,200 Nigerians are worth over $1 million.
In this country?
Yes. So pathetic. And funny enough, less than 6 million Nigerians earn 200,000 and above, which is just about 2.4% of the Nigerian population. And recently, to cap it all, recently, the Minister of Finance made one very shocking revelation that 97% of Nigerians don't have up to 500,000 naira in their savings. So now, by the time you bring all this together, you will begin to imagine where are we heading to as a country if this continues in the next 4 or 5 years. Like in one of my recent appearance, I said, with the way we are going, if we are not very careful, we would be having a revolution sooner than expected. Because by the time people get so pushed to the wall and they have no further option, the best option and the only available option for them will be to revolt. And that revolt will be so massive, so destructive that we'll begin to wonder whether we'll have a country or not. I pray we don't get to that point, like I always continue to pray. However, either we like it or not, the solution still lies in the hands of our leaders. All of us, collectively, we have the solution. But the blueprint, the roadmap has to come from the leaders.
Okay.
And they have to demonstrate that political will, that leadership acumen, that professional prowess to show to Nigerians that yes, we are really serious about the Nigerian project. We are serious about having a country where everybody or more than half of the population can smile, put food on their table, be secured, sleep with their two eyes closed. So, as far as the Nigerian situation is concerned, I think what the EFCC boss said is no longer news to us.
In fact, the EFCC boss also said it's paper reform, that we have to move away from paper reform. So he admitted to the fact that whatever it is that we have is just on paper.
That's very correct. Very, very correct in the sense that I once said before that Nigeria we are a country whereby we have lot of policies but not implemented.
So what is stopping implementation? What's the stopping execution? Is it collaboration? Would this MOU bring that implementation and execution? Should Nigerians be saying, okay, we are very hopeful to renewed hope agenda, that things will change this time, that the EFCC has understood, is only dawning on them. They're just waking up from slumber to understanding that financial corruption is what is causing the poverty, or is part of what is causing it, and that there is only paper reform and lack of execution.
All right, I think EFCC, they are not just waking up. They are aware of this for a very long time. But like I said earlier, the political will to do the needful. And don't also forget that a lot of factors are involved in their inability to discharge their duty as expected. Now, don't forget, just very recently, we during the former president, late Muhammadu Buhari, may so rest in peace. During his tenure, most Nigerians believe that corruptions were being fought headlong. But at the long run, what did we realize? We realized that it was just a jest. Why? Because they said money we are being recovered, and the recovered money was not properly accounted for. Very recently, the Minister of State for Finance said that EFCC have recovered over 800 billion naira from whistleblowing policy and all that. But the challenge and the question you and I should be asking is this: is it about recovery? Now, if it is about recovery, from whom were those money recovered? Give us a breakdown. Give us a realistic and a verifiable breakdown of who and who were those money recovered from, and what was that money used for. And not just telling us rhetorics or theories. You understand? So either we like it or not, the Nigerian challenge is such that our leaders have to do a serious retrospection and come up with a blueprint that would involve everybody into doing the right thing, but starting from the leaders first.
So, Mr. Ankele, you're saying that the collaboration or the MOU between the EFCC and CCB and maybe ICPC is not a reform enough to take us out from where we are in terms of financial corruption that's going on?
It's just a step towards the right direction. But then, it is a step that needed to be hastened and needed to be realistically worked upon. Because it is not just about paperwork. Yes, it's about the reality of what we have on ground.
So what is the reality, Mr. Ankele? Because I'm trying to understand. If the president some time ago when he went to, was it to Brazil or something, had said he had been able to remove corruption from Nigeria, and yet the EFCC boss is saying, no, we're still tackling financial corruption. We need more collaboration than MOU. I mean, I don't know. Which one are we going for now?
Corruption is still very much in Nigeria like a cankerworm. So whosoever telling the outside world that corruption has been removed from Nigeria is just telling a very bloody lie.
Okay, let me pray you, because time is not on our side. We came aboard, pretty late. But let me just quickly take this message from Uchenam from Local Goma. He says, if you examine the activities of the EFCC under the current leadership since the inception of Tinubu's government, it becomes clear that their actions are selective trials or political persecution. For example, most corrupt leaders from the Southwest have remained untouched because their allies are in power. You may recall when Adams Oshomole stated that once someone joins the APC, their past and present sins would be forgiven. That is why, despite all the money Yahya Bello allegedly misappropriated, no one is challenging him. The same goes to Ojuzo Kalu and even the Senate President Akpabio. Consider Ifeanyi Okowa, the former governor of Delta State. Since he decamped to the APC, have you heard any update on his alleged corruption cases? On the other hand, the EFCC seems to be targeting El Rufai now, simply because he's not aligned with their camp. Recently, Kelvin Black, the content creator popularly known as Governor Amunike, revealed that he was threatened to join Tinubu's campaign team or face persecution. You can check this page. You can check his page to see for yourself. This is wrong. Must we all belong to the same political party? Mr. President is acting as if he owns the country. Power is transient, and he will not remain in office forever. I mean, your final thoughts as well as responding to this.
All right, thank you so very much. I think he has made my day with that statement.
Okay.
Power is transient. He may not remain forever. So the best option for the president is to ensure that he do justice to every Nigerian. Yes, the Nigerian situation as it is now is gradually moving to a one-party state, and courtesy of the political dimension which the presidency is taking. Because as it is now, for you to be on the safer side, you must belong to them. So if you are not part of them, you are no longer safe.
But Kelly, sorry to cut you. Nobody forces. There is no written word or any form of evidence that shows that any governor was forced into joining the ruling All Progressives Congress.
Thank you so very much. Of course, you don't expect to see that. But they say action speaks louder than voice. Okay. Now, I give you a practical example. Adams Oshomole said it long before now. Yes. That if you are in the PDP, your sins are forgiven. And you have just mentioned one or two other instances of people with high corruption cases whose cases are no longer mentioned. They are just there dormant. Of course, and considering the fact that most of these people have dipped their hands into public fund, they have no option than to go to where they feel secured. And where is it that they feel secured? They feel secured because when they are in the APC, the moment you are outside the APC and you say anything against the government, you become a legitimate target of the government. So to avoid those humiliation, frustration and all that, they have no option than to quietly slip into the APC.
Okay.
Either they like it or not. And secondly, don't also forget, there is also this allegation by Nigerians, which I am yet to confirm, that if you go to the APC, there is a particular money that you are being given, which Zamfara State Governor recently decried that development. You understand? Zamfara State Government decried that development recently. So now, either we like it or not, with the way the current administration is going, we are heading towards a one-party state, which is not good for democracy, and which is not good for progress, which is not good for unity as well. So we must, as a country, learn how to stand together and speak against whatever it is that will lead to our dehumanization, whatever is it that will lead to our drifting further into the abyss of poverty. And what is it that is making us to drift further into the abyss of poverty? Is insecurity. Now, I give you a practical example. Some of these people, like I said earlier, the 75% of the poor people that lives in the rural area, some of them, if given the opportunity with the security provided for them to farm, some of them don't even care to have up to 500,000 naira. As a matter of fact, there are some in Nigeria of today that have never even counted 200,000 of their own, but they are comfortable. They are not rated as being poor. Why? Because they go to their farms, they harvest food of their farms, and they use the little money they have to send their children to school. So they live a comfortable life in their village. But a situation whereby somebody comes from nowhere and the Nigerian government refuses to do the needful and chase such people away from their villages, chase their source of livelihood away, kill them, maim them, of course you have pushed them into abject poverty. So either we like it or not, the security corruption in Nigeria is what is aiding and abetting further poverty in Nigeria.
All right.
So the security corruption should be addressed squarely.
First, okay, squarely. All right. Well, anyways, can't go any further, but thank you, though, Mr. Ankeli. Even though it's been a short, momentary conversation with you, but it still adds value to the discourse. Thank you for your time. We appreciate, yeah?
Thanks for having me once again.
Right. Well, it will suffice to add that views expressed by guests and callers and theirs alone, and it does not reflect those of Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Thank you too also for being a part of it. I know